Hello. In this video, we are talking about a process that is called as ossification. Okay. So you might have guessed the process of ossification means the formation of bone. We know very well how crucial bone is because of course it plays a major role in the formation of our exoskeleton, right? So in this video we will have a brief introduction or maybe some amount of knowledge regarding how exactly bones are formed in our body. Okay, so I've made some quick notes in my copy, and from that we have a small discussion. Okay, first of all, if the process of ossification occurs in our body, so there are specific centers which are located. Okay, you know very well that in our body we have specialized centers for like breathing, for respiration, or maybe controlling our heartbeat. Okay, so there are dozens of centers that you will find in the human body. Okay, the one that I have mentioned just now, like for the respiration and whatever, these are usually located in your brain, in the hypothalamus region. But right now we are not focusing on that, okay, because our topic of discussion for today is a formation of bone, and that is done via process of ossification. So there are two centers, primary and the secondary center. Primary center is that center which is formed prior to birth. That means in your embryonic stage only you will see the formation of this center, that is called as a primary center. If I talk about the secondary center, so obviously you might have guessed that it is formed after birth. So what happens is that if you talk about like in a brief way, so there are two types of ossification which exist in our system. The first one is the intramembranous ossification, and the second one is the endochondral ossification. Okay, these are the two basic types of ossification which exist. So we will talk about each one of them. If I talk about the intramembranous ossification, so here what you will see that it basically in this you will see that there is a formation of flat bones. Okay, now these flat bones are like one of those basic bones. For example, the one which is present in your skull, okay, or maybe in your clavicle region, or maybe in your mandible region. Okay, so these bones you can see they are directly formed from the connective tissue. So you will not see any intermediate structure to exist in between. Okay, they are like directly formed like via your connective tissue. Okay, and basically there is, at times you will see that there is also the existence of intermediates. These intermediates mainly that you will learn about are the cartilaginous intermediates. Now that is a part of the endochondral ossification. Right now we are talking about intramembranous ossification. So here you will see that there is a direct formation of the bone. You don't have anything in between. So if I'll talk about the process, so first of all it all starts with the mesenchymal cells. These cells are going to form a template. This template is very plain because I have just mentioned that you won't have any cartilaginous template or anything as such. Okay, so things are pretty much direct over here. So it is going to form the template, and then eventually it will be differentiated into osteoblasts. See, if you have even a little bit expertise in your biology, so you might have guessed that osteoblasts are usually there to like form your bones. Okay, these are the bone forming cells. Okay, so here you will see that there is a formation of these osteoblasts, okay, after the differentiation process is done, and then eventually they are going to secrete the extracellular matrix. Okay, and as we are learning about the bone, so you might have guessed that this extracellular matrix is going to be tough, and there is calcium deposition which is present. Okay, like our bone is filled with calcium, bro, like of course, so the hardness of the matrix is going to exist. Now, let's talk about the endochondral ossification. If we talk about the endochondral ossification, so obviously I have just mentioned that there is a formation of cartilage, and this cartilage is present as an intermediate. So over here the process is almost the same, okay, like the basic idea you must know till now. But there is just one small plot twist over here, that there is basically the existence of cartilage template in between. That is the only thing which is making up a difference. And then eventually you will see that this cartilage template will be replaced by the bone tissue. Your endochondral ossification usually occurs in long bones. Okay, in your limbs you will see the occurrence of this ossification. Otherwise, I have just mentioned that your intramembranous ossification, they are usually found in your skull, in your clavicle, like in your mandible region, right? So mandible, you know very well, it is present in the jaw region. So at these locations, you will see the existence of the intramembranous ossification. But when it comes to the endochondral one, I've just mentioned, it is present in the long bones. Okay, at these locations you will see the existence. So one thing that we can particularly conclude over here, that if there is direct ossification, then that is going to be your what? That is going to be your from the connective tissue basically. And there is no existence of the cartilaginous template. Okay, like whatever you see in the endochondral one, that is not present in your intramembranous one. Okay, that is the only thing which sets both of them apart. Okay, so that was about it. Okay, moreover, like that is a process. And if you know the structure of your bone, okay, so you might know that there is the spongy region of the bone. Then you will see the compact bone which is present in the, like, the middle portion of your bone. Okay, and there is also the medullary cavity. Okay, see, what is so different about the medullary cavity? You might have heard several times what is medullary cavity. See, if I talk about the medullary cavity, so there is the existence of the yellow bone marrow. And this yellow bone marrow comprises of the adipose tissue. You know very well, adipose tissue are the fat storing tissue which is present in your body. Okay, and that is present in this medullary region where the yellow connective tissue is basically formed. Okay. Moreover, if you talk about that spongy part of the bone which I have just mentioned, it is usually present at the ends. Okay, for example, if this is my bone, okay, so at this part and at the lowermost part, okay, at the ends you might see the existence of the spongy region of the bone. Okay, now what is so different about the spongy region? You will see that there is red bone marrow which is found there. And if there is red bone marrow, then erythropoiesis is going to occur, right? So yellow bone marrow is present in between, okay, in that medullary cavity basically. Now this medullary cavity is not hollow, it is not empty. There is the existence of your yellow bone marrow. Okay, and that's where the adipose tissue is formed. Okay, and in the spongy region, what I have just mentioned, that you have got the red bone marrow. Okay, and that is taking part in erythropoiesis. So that's how it is. Okay, so that was a very brief knowledge regarding the process of ossification. Okay, and there is more to go. Like if you study in detail, okay, you might know like more information regarding the same. Okay, but whatever notes I have created on my own, I have just mentioned that in this very video. Okay, so thank you for watching.